skinny.
Okay, it is recording. So
Oh, I
if you guys
cannot
want
take
to
it.
start, cameras are moving.
All right, are you ready for my intro? Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Oh, thumbs off.
Yes.
That was great.
I'm glad this is all on camera.
I know.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to a very special bonus episode of Talkin' with Jimmy Schatz. On today's show, I have this young man with skinny thighs, as we just discovered in the pre-interview. So a warm welcome to Max Ferguson.
Hello, hello.
Hello, and thank you for coming.
Thank you so
thank
much
you
for
for having
having
me.
me.
We
Well,
are filming
yes.
right now. We are recording / filming at
The T-Spot. We are currently filming with Blunder Theory.
Blunder Theory.
Yes.
And this is so exciting. I'm moving homes for the day.
Yeah.
And you're where you belong.
Oh, gosh, it was such a trek down those 4 flights of stairs.
So we were talking earlier, this is like a crossover, like SVU meets...
I mean, it's the clashing of gay worlds right now.
It really is. I feel like now the interviewee becomes the interviewer
exactly.
in this portion of the show.
So now, switching gears to
Switching
T-Spot
gears.
land. Could you explain a little bit what birthed this for you? What kind of inspired you to start a podcast and have
Well,
it be
I've always
specifically
been told
here?
I had the face for radio.
Oh. Well, that's an icebreaker.
Oh my God. No,
Well.
I'm kidding. I've always felt that. But so I'm from here. I'm
Right.
from New York City, and I went to school in Massachusetts, and I came back to the city, and I was like living at home for a little, and then I was trying to figure out, what am I gonna do? I'm an actor, but like work's not coming yet.
Right.
What am I gonna do? I dabbled in stand-up. I dabbled in cabaret.
Yeah.
So my best friend, who I produce everything with, he said, we should do a podcast. Like, you love to talk to people. You're very chatty. You're very off the cuff. And we came up with this title, Talkin' Shit with Jimmy Schatz, which really, talking beep with Jimmy Schatz. And I just started interviewing friends, comics, actors, and I just love it. Like, I love... I love talking to people. I'll talk to anybody.
I love
I
that.
talk to strangers on the subway. And sometimes, you know what I've learned? People just need someone to listen,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we started doing it, and we were recording it, and I was like, this is so much fun.
Yeah.
And now 2 years later, here we are.
Are there any dream interviewees down the line? People in like your realistic spectrum that you could probably land, and then people in the far off future for you?
I would love to interview more comedians who are established and been in the game for years. If you went into Times Square and you took a microphone and you said, do you know my favorite comedian in the world who is such a star, Jessica Curson.
Oh, okay.
She does a lot of stuff, but she's not, Amy Cat status.
Right.
I feel like Jessica, if you listen, I hope you don't think this is shade, but I guess what I'm getting at is there are all these comedians who are so flippin' talented and they've been in the game for so long, but they're not at that level, like with the Dave Chappelle, with the Amy's, with the Kathy Griffin, with the, Wanda Sykes. And I would love to interview them, like a Jessica, like a Mark Normand, and just about their journey. And, what is it like for you 10, 15, 20 years in the game?
What keeps
You're
you
still
committed,
out
yeah.
there hustling. What keeps you going? And then I think dream guest, Oprah. No, I'm kidding.
Ha!
Dream guest, SJP. Sarah Jessica.
Yes.
Because she's been my dream since I was a child.
Girl.
And I hate to brag and name drop, but I I met her a couple years ago, and we kind of like bonded. It's a long story, but we kind of bonded. I was her server.
Oh, I love
And
that.
then I moved to another restaurant, and 12 months later, 16 months later, whatever, she came into the new restaurant and she remembered me. And she asked me all about comedy and how it was going, and oh, I want to come see a show. And she just was like the most generous, lovely person. And
Do you have any specific long-term goals coming out of this?
well, I'm in the process of planning. I want to do a live show
Oh, that's fun.
because that's something that I've always wanted to do.
Okay.
And it seems to be all the rage now.
Mm.
But in terms of long-term goals with the podcast, I think it's just to gain a following and keep putting out like fun, smart, sharp material.
Right. Just kind of grow that sort of fan base and
Yeah.
like-minded individuals.
A goal of mine, a dream of mine is, what's his name? I was talking about you earlier before the show. Ryan Seacrest.
Oh,
He has a
yeah.
morning show
Yeah.
on,
You're right.
on Sirius XM or something.
I think so. Yeah,
And
I
I
hear him
feel
all
like,
the time. on
I
it.
feel like that would be so much fun.
Yeah.
I would love to do something like that.
Well, and before you were mentioning sort of, the Kelly and Ryan sort of show.
Oh, the dream.
Yeah,
It's
so
my
that's
dream to
that's like
take
the
over.
end all be all for you,
I
right?
mean, hello.
Well, I mean, they've gone through male co-hosts like it's their job. So.
It could be live with Jimmy and Maxwell.
I mean, I'll take that.
Could you imagine? Do you think America's ready for two gay hosts?
How about like a brunch? That sounds more on the gay spectrum.
Yeah,
/ we're not morning people by
brunch?
the sounds of it.
We're really not.
So give me
We
a
did
couple
talk about
mimosas,
that.
Bloody Marys, and to kind of riff off that, I would like to ask for any up and coming artiste in the queer community that's coming to New York. Do you have any life advice? Any rules to play the New York game by?
Be your authentic self. Be you. Do you. Don't listen to the people who tell you, like, oh, you can't do that joke. That's not going to get you a late night spot. Don't worry about your late night spot. Cut the shit. Don't do bringers. Go do a mic or four. Make some friends. And you know what? Produce your own stuff.
Yeah.
Find some, for lack of a better word, shitty downtown bar.
Right.
Go in, get a cocktail, talk to the owner, be like, my name is so-and-so. I would like to do a Tuesday show here once a month, if it's picking up steam, twice a month, whatever.
Right.
And make it free, but the people coming have to get one drink or something, and just sort of carve out a niche for yourself.
Yeah. Because
I
I
think
mean,
that's very important.
the work you put up front, you'll benefit from later on.
Exactly.
Amazing.
And remember to be nice,
Yes.
because it's free.
Yeah.
Being nice is free.
How do you find your sexuality to kind of identify you as a person, an artist, how you kind of carry yourself through the world?
Oh, what a question.
Thanks. I thought we might get a little philosophical by the end. So
Oh my
here we
God.
go.
Could you ask it again? That's
Okay,
over
so
my head.
being a member of the LGBTQ community, we're gonna bring it down for you. How do you find that aids or inhibits your perspective of the world and how you carry yourself through it?
I think that, oh my God, this is like Pulitzer.
I try.
How I carry myself?
Yeah, like how you kind of walk through the world.
I think that I just, I feel like I feel different. I'm always going to feel different. And to be 100% truthful, there are times where I almost feel like, do I even fit in the LGBTQ community? Like, do they like me? And I think it sort of piggybacks on it sort of piggybacks on what I said about just do you and don't worry, because I feel like I am my own person and I just have to do what works for me.
Right.
And that's how I carry myself. And there are days where I think like, oh, I'm not in the club.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, I'm not, doing meth.
Right.
But I just, I have to be Jimmy. I have to be as Jimmy as possible.
And that's so much easier said than done.
So much easier. Oh, it's a lot of work. My therapy bill is high.
Well, that sounds like part of the gay club there. So, I mean, you got one up on me.
I mean, hello. Did that answer your question? You really
Yeah.
threw me. That was
Yeah.
a very,
No, I liked it. I
you're
liked
coming
the answer.
for that Oprah chair.
I mean, Oprah, Baba, who knows? Australia.
This was a joy. Thank you for having
pleasure.
me in your studio.
And thank you for inviting me on your podcast.
Hello.
It was great.
Can I do my exit for you?
Oh, yes, please.
So, everybody, this was Talking with Jimmy Schatz and Maxwell, Maximilian Ferguson.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will have links for Jimmy's podcast below. And I'm here for this.